Alright, hey everyone, welcome to another WRP Live Play TTRPG session. What is WRP? Well, that's me, Faye, Game Master and Storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We're a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time, and share them with you. And tonight we're playing D&D. This session features D&D's Shadow of the Dragon Queen, a riveting adventure of courage and valor, where our intrepid heroes face unbeatable odds in a cataclysmic war. With us at the table, we do have several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to play alongside them, you're more than welcome to join us. You can ask in chat or hop over to our Discord to find out more information. Now, speaking of our awesome players, it's time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, Game Master and Storyteller. With me is Sirenscape, bringing all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at Sirenscape.com. I do also have my assistant DM Max here, so you might see some bits of gray tail on the screen. Don't worry, he's just doing his job. With that, let us meet our courageous and daring heroes as they set out to embark across the northern wastelands and finally set for the city of lost names. And we'll begin with an introduction for Vass.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm playing Vass. He is a devilishly handsome tiefling bard rogue who has found himself accidentally stumbling across the multiverse. This week, I figured I'd pick a timely fun fact since we were somewhat introduced to Vass's father during one of the dream sequences last time. So I thought I'd expand a little bit about who he is. His father's name is Ignatius, which means fiery. He's a jeweler and comes from a very modest, humble background. He's had to work really hard to get to where he is as a respected upper middle class Neverwintrian. He is intelligent, detail oriented, has a dry wit, and is a good cook.
Right. Yeah. Next up for our introductions, why don't we learn about Hugh?
Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm playing Hugh Bear, a flamboyant and fearsome fencer. Today's fact is that the first monster kill he made when he was a teenager, his older cousins took him to towards Nightland. There's undead, and he went zombie hunting together. And that's they made him practice headshots until he can do them properly with his sword.
Heck yeah. And then, last but not least, why don't we get an introduction for Rue?
Okay, I am Frontboard, and I am bringing Rhubarb Bafflewander with two F's to the table. You might know him as Rue. He is a forest gnome sorcerer, level 7 now, hailing from the island of Sandcrest, far to the west of our setting. 114 years young. I think he's about 3'4" tall, with a shock of white hair on the top of his head that's slowly turning red, apparently. And the characters with high passive perceptions tonight might notice that Rue's normally brown eyes have pretty much changed shade to where the irises are black to match the pupils, as his lunar phase has switched to that of New Atari, and he's feeling some influence of his trip to the Shadowfell recently.
Ooh, a little spooky. I love it. Well, with no further introductions this evening, there's nothing to stop us from continuing on with our story. You had followed with Dalamar to the cove in the north, this place of power. You banished the creature, the undead beast, wolf-like, and were able to rest. And you found, of course, a strange piece of black glass. A strange piece of glass that Dalamar coveted, enough so that he took it and he disappeared in the night as you all slept. And as you're able to... As you awoke, you did have conversation of where to go next. The Kalaman army was given the description of Wakenrath, but you now have the location of the City of Lost Names. It was a difficult conversation, but eventually you decided you head to the city, and if you need backup, you search for Wakenrath. So as we return to Ansalon, to the northern wastelands, it is to your group setting out for travelings. And since Hugh was not part of us last week, why don't we get a D20 roll from Hugh for your day of travel?
Teen.
13. Okay. So the waters remain low in the wash, and as you are roaming, do, 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 do. I don't need... Okay, we're gonna do the other one. Max, are you getting comfortable there, buddy? Cats. You love them, but... So... As you are traveling, it's a few hours. Most of the day's travel has been fairly uneventful. But as you are getting into the late afternoon, just before you would start your search for a place to bed this evening, there are figures that you see in the distance. They wear dark armor, but it does look to be a small patrol group.
Can we tell the direction they're traveling in relation to us?
They are ahead of you. Hard to say what direction they are moving, if they are moving towards you, away from you, parallel. But they are ahead of you in your travels.
And how far ahead? I think I missed that part.
You'd just be starting to see them, so they're about maybe 100 or so feet ahead of you. Well, out of any sort of hearing range, but in the wastelands, they do seem to stick out.
Did you say how many? I'm sorry.
Roll for me a perception check.
I can do that. 11s.
11s. You can see two large forms, and they kind of make it hard to see anything else really in any sort of clarity. So there's at least three. So you know the two large ones and then whatever else is there.
Looks like some chonky boys.
Mm-hmm. You know why I love the Chunky Boys?
I know how much you like to pick a fight.
You know, I've been told I pick fights too often, so I was gonna leave it to your guys' judgment on whether I should fight them or not. As we need to have a consensus on our belligerence.
The terrain is still somewhat open.
It is still somewhat open, yes. You are getting,
Um,
yeah, you're not yet towards that giant's spine on the map. So there's still some boulders about, but most of the ground is open.
okay, so it would be difficult to try and sneak up closer to them and see if we can pick up more information. Because one of us.
Yeah, it would be a little difficult.
Rue's gonna use minor illusion to cast an illusion of a boulder that surrounds his own physical form. Just for added disguisery.
Okay.
That's a new word I just made up.
Well, our captions don't like new words, so.
It like auto-corrected me.
Yeah. It does that. It leads to shenanigans.
Next thing you know, it's just gonna start playing my character instead, like an AI.
What do you want to do, guys? The group doesn't look that big. We might be able to deal with them. Still amped up from the letter.
I mean, I'm sure you two could take them down with your prowess, if that's what you're so inclined to do. I just feel like it's all or nothing with these, because if word gets back that we're out here, or if those folks don't get back, then they might send more looking.
True. How far away are we, like, day of travel wise from City of Lost Names? Route names? I always get them backwards. Lost.
Yeah. City of Lost Names. And you're 3/4 of the first day at this moment. And it's about a 2.5 day travel.
So we're like getting close to the Circle of Seers, maybe?
Yeah, you have like just passed that outcropping of the Circle of Seers and are coming up to that sort of divvy down into the wash.
I don't want to lead them to the city either, or run into them when we're there. But I get what you're saying about, if they don't come back, or if one of them gets away before getting handled. That's probably not going to be very good for us. We're good, but I don't think we can take on the whole dragon army by ourselves.
I mean, depends if they're spread out or not. I feel like I could take them all out one at a time.
I think you probably could.
Oh, Drew, that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
So, you can add extra time to your travel here and try to avoid the figures altogether. Or you can advance, take them on, so that might bring its own set of consequences.
Flip-flopping guys now. I think we should take a little bit longer and go around them like we did a couple of days ago with the larger group. Or was that yesterday?
I think it was yesterday that you guys avoided. Because I think you were traveling with Dalamar when you did that.
Yeah, it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. It was after we took down the ones riding the Dragonelles, but before the stone.
So, got one vote to avoid.
What's your vote, Hugh?
Ooh, you know I like to fight, so I'm abstaining. I'm too belligerent. I'm relied upon here. I'm good. I'm recognizing my bias here.
Like
Rue's
you
like
might be the tiebreaker.
Rue's wondering like what's come over Hugh all of a sudden. Maybe it was Dalamar stealing that stuff that's shaken some differences of sense into him, not necessarily sense in general.
It's losing Dalamar. He was such a nice guy.
That's right. Hey, there's like whole books about that guy, right?
There are. This is true.
He's notorious. I think we should go around 2. I'm with Vass. In this
All right,
case.
I can sneak.
Sneaky rogues are sneaky.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for a stealth check here to help your chances along.
No.
Ooh, Vass.
Alright. Hell yeah. Your group is able to move away from this portion of the wasteland, and due to the great distance of your potential foes and your skill, you all are able to easily divert your course. You find a place to rest, and your first day of travel is complete.
I guess if we're a couple days out, I guess I could have been like using invisibility on us to just sneak our way past them instead. Didn't even think of that. Oh well.
He's okay. So you all take a long rest. Nothing seems to disturb you this evening.
Chose the wrong vote.
As the morning rises and you will awake. The wash remains low. And Rhubarb, can you roll for me a d20 as you travel? Okay. As your first few hours of travel gets you warmed up, it's seeming that today is going to be another easy day. However, that changes as you hear a screech above you.
I'm looking up and seeing what's screeching at us.
You see 3 figures flying. They seem almost feline, though they have a face that reminds you of some sort of humanoid as it moves across, seeming to round the sky above you. They've spotted you, whatever these things are.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that before.
Would you like to roll a history check to see if you have or have not?
Yes,
I would like to do that.
I'd like everybody to roll a history check. What is that? What are those?
Caitlin thinks she knows, but I don't know that Vass would necessarily have run into one of these before.
Rhubarb and Hugh, this is something unknown to you. However, Vass, while you've never encountered these physically before, you have heard stories of them, you've been warned of them. These are manticores. And guys, they come down. I'm going to ask for initiatives.
No.
I got a natural 20 again.
Hell yeah.
What to roll a natural 20 on? Once Vass figures that out, he swears an infernal and says, "These are manticores, watch out for their finger."
Alright, so it's going to be Vass, and then Hugh, our manticores, and then Rhubarb. Max, buddy, you can't be laying on my computer keyboard. Alright, so, Vass, 3 manticores are now diving in at your group. What are you doing?
So how far are they from Vass?
I'll say that when combat starts, they are 15 feet above you. Because that's when you realize, oh shit, they are swarming in, swooping down.
And how close, how clumped together are they?
I'd say that they're about within 10 feet of another one. They've been kind of like circling high above. This is definitely a pack situation.
Okay. Vass is going to just go with his initial gut instinct, and he's going to snap his fingers and cast Shatter high enough that it doesn't impact him and his companions. But it's a 10-foot radius sphere, so I don't know if I would get 2 or 3.
You'd be able to get 2.
Okay. That's a Constitution 15 save.
The first one gets an 18. The second one gets a natural 1.
Lovely. So that's 14 for the failure and 7 for the success, and that is thunder damage.
Heck yeah.
And with my bonus action, I don't think he's like going on gut reactions right now, so I don't think he'd be doing a bardic inspiration. I think he's gonna um attempt to hide and be a little bit separate from the other two, so we are not all clumped together.
Okay, sounds good. So as Vass moves, trying to keep low to the ground here, and separate, Hugh, we come to your turn.
Okay, so they're low to the ground. How low are they?
They are, so the manticores aren't quite low to the ground yet. They are 15 feet up, but they are in mid-swoop towards you. This is like, that sprung the initiative. You know that there's now danger, so they're 15 feet ahead of you, but they're on track to hit your group. That seems to be their intention.
All right. Well, I'm going to, at the lead one, cast Hunter's Mark and use my bow with that.
Heck yeah. Go for it.
First one's a 25.
25 will hit.
And this, so that's just the damage plus 15 damage.
Beautiful.
And then 24. So 25 damage total.
Ooh, lovely damage.
Stepping to the front to protect my friends.
And as Hugh, you step towards the front, drawing this attention towards yourself, it does, the lead one, as it crashes into the ground, dust set up into this battlefield right in front of you. It wastes no time. It is going to claw at you twice, as it rears onto its back legs. Or at least it will attempt to. The first attack is a 19.
Oh, that's caught in my shield.
And then that means the second one misses. And then as it, frustrated, tries to bite down on you, you're able to move away as you hear the snap of its jaws. The other two are staying in the air about maybe 5 feet off the ground, as they're snarling, looking around, and their attention again on Hugh, and then will fall to Rue, as their tail is going to whip around and release some spikes. That is going to be a set of 3 misses against Hugh as spikes hit into the ground around you. And towards Rhubarb, as the tail whips out, only 2 spikes are released, and that is a 15 to hit.
I'm gonna react and cast shield.
Okay. The second one is a 16.
Both of those are deflected by the shield of force that surrounds my body.
Alrighty, so let's keep this track because it's only got so many spikes. So that is bam, bam, and bam. So that's it for our mana quarters. As Rhubarb, we come to your turn.
So one is engaged with Hugh, and two are back slinging spikes.
So one is engaged with you, and then two are above the battlefield, just kind of
Oh.
5 feet off the ground. So, like, not terribly high off the ground. Like, you could fit a person underneath them.
Definitely a gnome.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe even 2 gnomes.
Even if they're the
Get-
tallest of their tribe.
you know, how many Timos could you fit there? Anyway. I think the two that are flying in the air, Bruce just gotta look at them, up at them and be like, nope. And he's going to use an ability that he recently learned by watching Dalamar, and he will cast Banishment with Twin Spell on both of those two.
Okay. That is
So
a
indeed.
charisma save?
Yeah, it's a DC 14 Charisma save.
First one got a 5. Second one got a 19.
Alright. Then one of them goes poof for like a minute.
For a minute, leaving you only 2 mana cores on the board right now. As Rue, you twin spell this, is there anything else that you would like to do?
I didn't see which way Vass went, right? I think he was attempting to hide.
Correct. But it's more of like being close to the ground. There's not really much of a hiding space here.
Attempt was the operative word there.
Yep.
Yeah. Then Rue is going to also like back off in the other direction, assuming it doesn't trigger opportunity attacks, because I guess they were making ranged attacks at us, right?
They were making ranged attacks. The only one that's in melee is the one that's on Hugh.
Yeah, Rue's gonna use all of his movement to back off like the other direction.
Okay.
And does crouching, is dropping prone, does that take an action, or is that part
No.
of the move?
It's part of your movement, I believe.
And that would make ranged attacks be a disadvantage, but melee be an advantage?
Correct.
I'm just gonna stand. I'm not gonna drop prone, because if he can catch me, then it will murder me alive.
Okay. So with that, it is going to then come to Vass. Your turn once again.
Hey, am I, with 40 feet of movement, able to dance my way around behind the one that's fighting Hugh so that I could be in a flank?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Alrighty. Well, Vass has both of his scimitars out, and he's gonna make a few swipes at the one on the ground. I don't think that 11 is going to hit, though.
The 11, unfortunately, will miss.
Alrighty, let's try again with my offhand. 23.
23 most definitely hits.
Alrighty, so that's gonna be 3 plus my sneak attack. 9, so 12.
Alrighty. So, with that, we're looking at not much damage. Cool, cool. This thing's starting to look a little roughed up, but it's still fighting. Anything else from Vass? Alright, Hugh, it is your turn, and you are now in a flank.
Well, I'm gonna give him the full business. I use my bonus action to dancing sword him for 21.
All right, yeah.
Wait, no, sorry, that did the wrong button. So 8 damage. This Hunter's Mark applies to it too, right?
Yes.
All right. 9 damage. And assuming that wasn't enough. Guys.
Heck
Crit.
yeah. That's gonna hit.
So roll the 6 and a dreadful strikes and a Hunter's Mark.
Alrighty.
How's it looking?
It's not.
Was that 39 damage?
Reminded of it. For some reason, Hugh was thinking about his boyhood days of headshotting zombies as he puts his blade between the Manticore's ears and into the brain case and pulls it out.
Alrighty. With that, it is going to then come to our Manticore's turn.
Well, I still have one more attack.
That's
after you.
right, because your dancing sword is a bonus action. I forgot about
Yes.
that.
So I'm going to try and do a jumping attack on that other one.
Hell yeah, go for
If I
it.
have a. All right. A 10. So I'm guessing jumping attacks are not used often for a reason.
Yeah, unfortunately the 10 is going to miss. However, you do catch enough of its attention that this Manticore is going to find its way onto the ground. And it's going to take a swipe at you, Hugh. And that will be a miss with a 14, but since it's on the ground, you know what? No, it's gonna focus on you, Hugh. You tried to hit it. That is another miss with its attempt to claw at you, and going to go in for a bite. An 18 also misses. So, yeah, you're able to dodge this thing pretty well. And Rhubarb, we come to your turn. What would you like to do?
So we have one banished and one on the ground fighting with you, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, Rhubarb is going to... That's a great question. Let's go for it. He's gonna use his Forest Shroud to teleport, like, just 10 feet to one side. I believe that's a bonus action. It better be a bonus action, actually. Let me make sure. Use a bonus action. Yeah, so I'm going to use that, and that'll give me advantage on my next attack roll. And Rue is going to gesture toward the Manticore and cast Ray of Sickness, which is part of his new Atari lunar embodiment. So he's going all in with new Atari, apparently.
Okay.
Do that. Just first level, though. That is a 23 to hit.
A 23 is definitely going to hit.
That Manticore, it probably is resistant to this, but whatever. 5 poison damage. And then it has to make a Constitution saving throw DC 14. Otherwise, it's poisoned.
That is an 8 on its saving. Now, is the Ray of Sickness a concentration spell?
No,
Okay.
it's not. It's just an extra bonus effect on that. It's a first level spell, so I guess that's just the trade-off for it having low damage is that it makes the target poisoned for a turn. Just poison until the end of my next turn. Sorry.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that was bonus action, action, and no technical movement. But yeah, so Rue will end his turn there and maintain his concentration on the banishment.
All right. So as Rue focuses on the banishment, Vass, we come to your go.
All right, Vass would like to rinse and repeat and dance his way behind the one attacking Hugh to be in a
Easily
flank
done.
and take some swipes with his scimitars.
$15 hits.
Nice.
Oh, nice. All right, that's gonna be 7 plus 8 for 15.
All right. Good to know. Anything else?
And with his up, and that's 24. Doing 8 points of damage.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The creature snarls and as Vass, your turn will come to a close here. Hugh, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go on this other one and apply my Hunter's Mark to it.
Okay.
That's the bonus action. And then I make with the stabbing. And successfully. And successfully!
Well, you are in a flank, so the 21 can be the first one because of the advantage.
Okay. Cool. So let's see if the second one hits. So we got... Aha! So a pair hits.
Yep.
For a total... 31 damage.
Heck yeah. This thing is looking pretty rough. But it's still on its feet, and it's still fighting. And, it is our Manticore's turn after Hugh, and as it snarls, it's going to take a claw attack with its back claws towards Vass, kicking out. And that is a 22 to hit.
Is that with
That hits,
disadvantage from poisoned?
It's still a 22.
Alright, so that's a hit.
For 5 slashing damage. And then we've got another claw attack going towards Hugh. And we'll miss with a 9. And then it's going to try and bite Hugh. And misses with a 9 again. And Rhubarb, it is your turn.
Manticore 9/9. Interesting. So they're in a flank with this thing. Rhubarb doesn't think that it's that smart. He's going to just send a beam of psychic energy toward it and cast Mind Sliver, so it needs to make a DC 14 int save.
How do you feel about an 18?
I feel like he probably succeeded then. And then, nothing on the bonus action. Rue's just kind of kick the dirt a little bit and continue maintaining concentration on the banishment. And then the creature's poison will end at the end of my turn too.
Alright, so while the creature is no longer poisoned, snarling, it is Rue's turn. And then we come back to the top of the round with Vass. Who looks to be AFK. So we'll hold Vass's turn. Oh, there's Vass.
Yeah, I'm here. So this thing's still kicking, hey?
This one's still kicking, yeah. But you're still in a flank,
Alright.
too.
Scimitar attack number 1 is a miss with a 13, I think.
Alright. 13 just misses, yeah.
Yeah. And my offhand, that's an 18. Gonna be 4 plus 3 is 7. There's 4 damage rolls that time.
This thing, after the slash of your scimitar, is sort of leaning on its strength. It is hanging on by a very thin thread here. As Hugh, we come to your turn.
Okay. I man my dancing longsword.
Okay.
Do dancing longsword things. I assume it's 6 hits. 16 hits.
The 16 will hit, for sure.
Okay.
And
That does 10.
that is more than enough. This creature goes down. But the other one is currently banished, so no threats on the board at the moment. But that is only temporary, as banishment only lasts for 1 minute. Or until Rue drops it.
Rue, I think, would try and do what Dalamar did and see if like he holds it for the full length of time, if the thing just like won't come back, because he's never cast this before and he's not really sure how it works, but it just kind of came to him in both his sleep and his anger after all of this. So yeah, Rue would concentrate on it for, I guess maybe like 6 or 7 more rounds. It would just say to the others like, it might come back. I really don't know how this works. I've never done that before. But I would say just be ready in case it does. It probably is going to come back right around there and point to where he banished it from.
So, what I will say here is that while this thing is banished, combat pauses for the next 40 seconds, if I remember correctly. No, 50 seconds. Only 2 rounds have passed, so 50-ish seconds here. If you want to, oh, look at the cat. If you would like to do any sort of healings or preparations for when this creature returns, if it returns, you may do so now. You can just state what you want. We're not being beheld into our initiative order in this moment.
We'll move over towards where Rue pointed, and he'll stand ready to cast Burning Hands if it pops back into existence.
Okay.
Hugh got through that without taking any damage, so he's just gonna be ready to pounce when it emerges.
And Faye, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that I can't maintain concentration and like hold a spell at the ready, because that's kind of like channeling, right?
Right. So if you have the spell, so holding a spell, if you don't use it before your next action, you lose it. So, it's in these moments, I would say you'd be prepared to cast, sort of like how Vass isn't holding Burning Hands, but is prepared to cast it.
Yeah. Got it. Let's back up some to create even more room between where the banishment was and where Rhubarb's standing, and then be ready to cast a chill. So I'll be like 100 feet away. I'm like inching my way backward, and be ready to cast a chill touch if it comes back.
Okay.
You two would see Rue just like slinking back cautiously.
So, your preparations come into effect. Yes. At the end of the minute, unlike with that strange amalgamation of bones and muscles, the Manticore does return. And we'll pick up at the top of the round. Vax, you were prepared to cast Burning Hands as this thing reappeared. That is your turn.
So that's gonna be dexterity, I believe. Yes, dex 15.
Unfortunately, it will succeed. That is a 20 on its dexterity roll. But it still takes half damage.
Alright, well, half damages. Oh my god almighty.
Oh no.
Oh no!
That is cruel.
That hurts me. Oh.
Yeah. So that's Bex's turn.
Vass, there is the smell of singed fur and cartilage, but this creature does not seem to be consumed by the flames. As Hugh, we come to your turn. You are also prepared to attack. The thing is about 5 feet off the ground currently. What would you like to do?
I apply the hunter's mark and stab, 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 stab all day. Well, that's 14 and a 26.
14 just hits.
All right. So that will give us an 8 and a 7 for 15. And 4 for 19. And a little psychic damage on top for 23. Does Ray approve? Ray looks like he approves.
Alright, yeah. That is some hefty damage there. But this thing, having been out of the combat, didn't see as much damage, and it is now our Manticore's turn, and as it snarls in the air, it is going to land heavy on the ground. It's going to take a swipe at at Hugh, a swipe at Vass, and then a bite towards Vass as well. So, first claw attack towards Hugh is a gentleman's 20.
Well, that's gonna get parried.
Alright. The swipe of the claw towards Vass is a 19. That'll be 6 slashing damage, and then Vass, you also see the jaws of this creature as it tries to bite down on you.
Lovely.
But I believe a 12 misses, so you're able to pull away from the teeth, and you can notice as it's trying to chomp down on you, the many rows of teeth in this creature's mouth. Rhubarb, you are a safe 100 feet distance away.
Perfect. That's where I like to be. Rhubarb, oddly enough, is going to stick with the cantrips. He's just going to try and cast a chill touch at it, so send a spectral, ghostly skeletal hand out toward it. see if it can reach out and touch him.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 23 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
And that is necrotic damage. Oh, double ones. That's fantastic. Let me use my empowered spell to reroll both of those.
Yeah, just because I did that doesn't mean you have to do that. Just saying.
At least it fixed one of them. It turned 2 damage into 6 necrotic damage. And the hand is now clinging on. Let's say the hand's clinging onto the sunburned leg just to like add insult to injury.
Heck yeah.
And it can't regain HP till the start of my next turn, which probably doesn't matter for this thing, but it's fun.
Alright.
Bonus action, we got nothing.
And
And no reaction. I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna inch my way closer. Let's use half movement to like slowly, sneakily work our way back toward the other two.
alright, and as you move closer, this is where we're going to take our first ad break, so we'll pick up with our combat here very shortly. Please let the ads run. They're important to us. They help us out. You can also always make donations to my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen and in chat. Donations help everyone here at Little Witch RP. They unlock awesome perks for our players, and they get your DM their much needed caffeine. So, stick around. We'll be right back. And we're back. And as we are returning, it is going to be top of the round with one Vass. Oh, I think Vass is still jamming out to that song stuck in the head. So,
Get it.
we will hold on Vass's turn.
There you go. Headset's on.
Oh, there we are. Vass, it is your turn. Start of combat.
Was that to me again?
Yeah, because it was Roost's turn, and then we went on our break, so start of the round.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go back to scimitars and see what happens. I'm assuming I'm able to move into a flying position.
Yes.
Alrighty. Let me see. That's a 23. 4. 5. 9 for 14.
Beautiful.
And with my offense, that is a 15.
That hits. Let's see some damage.
That's a whopping 6 points of damage.
This thing's looking pretty hurt, but it's still fighting. Phew. We will come. Oh. Phew. It is your turn.
Okay. Time to finish things off. Well, so we're gonna start the stab. That's a 20.
That
Second
is-
stab is an 18.
2 successful stabs.
So in piercing damage, we get 31.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And 3 psychic damage to go with it.
And with that, the last of the mana cores will fall. And you are no longer bound by initiative.
I wonder if I can. Manticores are famous for their venom. Can I harvest it from their stingers?
As you are looking for it, you are unable to find any venom sacs or any sort of coated stingers. It seems that these perhaps don't have that same physiology.
Okay. Just a thought.
You still have, with the setback from avoiding the dragon army, another day of travel ahead of you as you finish out this day. After putting perhaps some distance between you and this ground, rest. Once again, you have a full long rest. And Bess, in the morning, can you roll me a d20?
Me?
Yep.
Okay. It's kind of, it's almost a 2, but it ends up being an 18.
Okay. So, as you're able to set out this third day of travel, the wash is still low, the canyon's dry, and just traveling through. Go ahead, roll for me a perception check.
Everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody.
Couldn't I have gotten that result when we were looking in the cave?
You and Dalabar both.
Right?
Didn't you
Yeah.
double twin?
Yeah.
Like, same modifiers, same rolls,
Yeah.
twice in a row?
Yep, we just swapped.
Yeah, we reversed it. Yeah.
So. Mm. You hear before you see the crumble of rocks and a distant roar. And as you look in the distance, maybe about a mile away, there is a plume of dust, and between it you see a purple hide of some subterranean creature as it begins to dive back beneath the ground.
Like,
Did we?
just a little baby creature, right? Like,
I mean, you can see it from a mile away. I'll let you think about how big that is.
tallest of its tribe.
Did it appear to have legs?
You didn't see any legs.
God, I know what this is, I think.
I mean, it's a mile off. You've got time to run if you're quick.
Won't that make more like or vibrations on the ground, which might call it to us faster. Assuming it can sense that. Is it in the direction we're heading, or is it in a different direction?
It's off to your. If you were facing north, you're not currently facing north because you're heading westernly. But if you were facing north, it's off to your west. So it's not quite in the direction of where you're heading, but
To the south.
yeah.
I think we walk softly and carry the big stick.
Do you know what that is, Vass?
I know it's not anything good. Did you see the size of that thing?
Looked pretty large. Maybe even huge. Or gargantuan. Whatever words you use for that.
Would there be any chance any of us would have been able to recognize what it was?
Why don't we roll a history check?
History.
11sies.
I didn't do so well. I just know it doesn't look very nice. That's all I know. Oh, you and Vass got the same.
I mean, Hugh, Vass, it is. It's big even at a mile, so you can only imagine how big it would be up close. Rue, you have heard tales, legends, really, of creatures large enough to devour buildings. Worms that would take on the hue of violets and other sort of indigo type flowers that you've seen. But you've never seen one. They don't bother your tribe if they even exist. You've only again heard legends.
There's stories of stuff like this that I've heard. I don't know if this is the same thing, but it's likely something we don't want to tangle with. It could swallow us whole. And then some. It could probably swallow like a Heart's Hollow whole. Maybe even all of Kalaman.
Yeah.
Or Waken Red.
Softly carry big stick.
Everything you're saying is making Hugh want to attack it more, but he's maintaining his policy of not.
I assume if I cast Phantom Steed, that the steed doesn't just like do my bidding. Like I couldn't summon Fernelope and then tell her to hop off in the opposite direction we're going to try and distract this worm, right? I think you can just ride it.
Hold on, let me look at this.
Yeah, let's see. Statistics for a riding horse.
You or a
They
creature
pride
you
on.
choose can ride the steed. You don't have to ride it, I'm saying. If for the hour that is here, you can ride the steed. You can designate a creature to ride the steed, but no one must ride the steed.
But it also may not like follow commands
I don't
either.
see why it wouldn't.
Interesting. Or Hugh, can you speak with animals?
Yes, I can.
You know, we're just gonna try it. Why not? Rouge just gotta cast Phantom Steed, and summon Penelope.
Okay, I'm just gonna check here itself. So I can talk to the animals. So I can translate for you.
Could you tell her to run up there and get that thing's attention and run as fast and far away from us going the opposite direction, and Rouge starts like pointing kind of like toward the east way or whatever that would take it away from where we're going.
So he would. All right. Have you summoned Penelope, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's up for
Okay.
an hour.
So I point at you and say, and in my beast speech, tell her. So he'd like you to run up to the big worms and distract it, and then run in the opposite direction away from us.
So this massive code, sort of, you all would hear this croak, deep and low, but you get actual words out of it. Okay.
And this is very important. Do not try and fight the worms. I know you don't try to eat the worms. Don't try to fight the worms. They are much bigger than you. Treat them like a big kingfisher is degree of danger.
Another croak and another. Okay.
All right. Any questions?
No questions.
Good enough. All right.
And with that, a look over to Rue, like the eye blinking just slightly out of sync. And if Rue, you have no further comments to your loyal steed, she runs off.
Okay, Rue, you either, I'm saying this in normal speech, not beast speech, you either have a really smart or a really dumb companion. Like, hard to tell.
She's a good girl. There's more where she came from. There's always more.
That's ominous. I love it.
Is it like a spirit? Is it a real giant toad that you summoned, or
It's quasi real.
It's quasi-real, yeah.
what does that mean?
That's what the spell
It's
says.
like, I know, but D&D, what does that mean? What does quasi-real mean? Like, is it gonna feel pain if it gets eaten by a giant purple worm?
One way to
Does
find
it
out.
does it maintain memory and existence after it disappears and then gets summoned back?
Is it the same thing that gets summoned back each time, or it's just a giant toad? And you just call all of them Penelope,
That's right.
like Harold names all his horses Roach.
You have a distraction.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But do you really want to wait here and see if that distraction works?
Heck no.
Okay. And then I'm going to ask for a athletics check to move quickly from this space.
Watching that result. I have a +0.
Hey, that's a pretty good roll. And what did Hugh get for the athletics?
Athletics. 12.
Huh. You guys managed to avoid any sort of rough and tumbles with something perhaps much larger than yourselves. Whether due to Frenelity or your quick workings, or perhaps a combination of both. But as the sun is starting to set, you see a vast plateau as it rises from the wastes. Its ancient cliffs soaring hundreds of feet high. A broad canyon splits the plateau's face, its passage blocked by an aged stone wall. Countless red tents spill from the canyon and its gates. Innumerable dragon army troops swarm the land, and there are patrols of dragonels soaring above.
Looks like they beat us here. Assuming that's here, where we want to be.
Wow. Think of it this way: they've split off from the main pack, so we now have a chance to eliminate them.
Is this where we think the city is? Or are we still like a day away?
No, this is the end of the third day, so this is the end of your travels, and this is where you believe the city to be.
Yeah, there's some swearing and infernal happening.
Well, I mean, it's not ideal, but this is also still good intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see two options. We try and get closer and see if we can gather more intelligence. Or we turn and see if we can raise the Kalaman army to bolster our numbers. How? I don't know the size and scale of the Kalaman army or what there was when we left. I don't know how much they even have left, what they've been through. But when we left them last, like how many soldiers did they have, and do we think it would be a match for like how many soldiers we see at the canyon's mouth?
Um,
I know that's a lot of questions.
you know that the Dragon Army forces here outnumber Calamon, but they likely aren't expecting any forces, so you'd have a element of surprise. Should no one know of Calamon. There have been no patrols that have reached back. Um,
Right away east from Wake and Wrath, aren't we?
from where you are to Wakenreth, You are... You're about 3-4 days from Wake and Wreath. If everything travels well.
And then the same back.
Maybe slower back because they don't have the blessing of Habakkuk.
They are also a larger force.
Yeah. And that's even if they made it to Wake and Wreath based on our instructions and the Attic or Gab action.
I assume Heart's Hollow, which is closer by, would not have sufficient forces to even come close to fighting a dragon army, nor would they probably want to.
It seemed like they wanted to stay as far from it as possible, from what I remember.
How? Let's see. Invisibility lasts an hour. I'm wondering how far or much of a scouting mission we could do if we used invisibility to like get us in and get us out. Like we could use like 30 minutes one way and 30 minutes the other way. Assuming you two want to scout.
I would like to scout. It would be nice to know if they found something here or if they're still looking. Isn't there supposed to be some kind of artifact that, what is his name? Thoth was looking for or chasing after?
Yeah. Faye, at normal pace, how long would it take us to walk up to this encampment? Or
So,
massive force.
yeah, it's a full army.
We should go back and make friends with that purple Martin and then just say dinner time.
Lure it the other way.
I'd say if you wanted to get close, be on the order of maybe like 10 or so minutes from where you're able to spot everything, but from your viewpoint here, there are guards and patrols about. It's probably not going to be the easiest to just sort of slip in.
I don't like these odds.
Feel like we should do something to even them.
Invisibility gives you advantage on stealth check. Is that right?
Yes.
if we do scout, do we all want to go so that we're not separated in case stuff goes sideways? Or do we send one person because the chances of them noticing multiple invisible people running around might be greater than one?
There's so many of them. It's like an army of ants. But these ones you probably can't burn with fire.
Well, we could. You just need a big fire.
Take longer.
Wonder if that dude in Hearts Hollow ever found his dragon. That could be useful right about now.
Yeah.
I don't want to get spotted and I don't want to get caught.
Is the amount of tents and soldiers and things about comparable to when we were closer to Calamon and found it and immediately went back to let them know, hey, there's an army reinforced out. Calamon or Vogler? Maybe it was Vampire.
You you could, as you're looking at this area, you could set up an area to camp and keep watch, like a stakeout. You could try and start moving back towards. You have allies in the group in the Wastelands. Um, so
Is there anywhere?
continue.
Sorry, is there anywhere here for us to conceal ourselves? Like, is there like a rock outcropping we could go under? I'm just concerned if we're going to be here for any length of time trying to make a plan that we might get spotted by Dragonel scouts.
Yeah, there are areas that you could go to and craft. There's boulders. There's not quite outcroppings, but you could craft other areas either with illusion or perhaps materials. And so, yeah, there's areas that you could hide.
Real scouts are what concerns me the most. Because it's pretty open in here.
Yeah, let's find somewhere that provides us a little more shelter before one of
think it's
these
a good idea.
patrols spots us.
Yeah. Make me I'll say investigation or survival.
Survival.
At 20. Oh,
Alrighty. So, as you are looking around, Rhubarb, you see a perfect area, and as you pointed out to Vass and to Hugh, it could work. It really could. Um, Not terribly large. Doesn't look conspicuous from most angles. And from the areas that you might be spotted, easy enough to set up some sort of illusion, or if you have the right supplies, such as tarp or anything like that, you could place that there as well.
I could cast hallucinatory terrain to make the natural terrain all around us completely disguise that we're even there. Maybe illusory rocks or foliage or whatever would be appropriately natural in that area to just look like it's a solid rock outcropping instead of an area that maybe has crevices and such for us to stay in.
How long can you alter the, well, I guess you're not altering the terrain. How long can you maintain that illusion?
24 hours,
Hmm.
no concentration required.
I can get behind that then.
Yeah, Rue will do that. He will, once we get to this spot that he found, he's gonna hallucinatory terrain it so that it's much less conspicuous. Oh, you can make it smell like some other sort of terrain too. I'm gonna make it smell like home, whatever the forest smells like, oddly enough. Now, maybe that's too obvious if someone comes by. I'm gonna make it smell like the desert and the surrounding terrain then.
Do we also smell that if we're inside the area, or is it just if you're outside the area and approaching?
I mean, if you make the terrain smell like something else, you would all be able to smell it, whether you're inside or not.
Okay.
But I think Rue has decided against the smelling of home in
Yeah.
case a patrol comes by.
They come by like, why does it smell like the woods here?
Hey man, have you seen a tree out here?
Did someone drop an air freshener?
That's right.
So. More.
I don't think I have enough juice left in the tank to make us all invisible anymore, so I do not feel comfortable scouting. If one of you two or both of you want to go scouting, that's fine. I'll
Go
stay
scouting.
here.
I'll use my pass without trace.
And that's something that you have to be within a certain distance of you, right? You can't cast it on somebody.
Yeah.
I'm super sneaky, but I would want to stack the deck in my favor. Okay. Go solo.
You want to what? Sorry.
Oh, I would want to stack the deck in my favor before going solo.
Yeah. So, is the plan to sort of stealth in, sneak around?
It's not Rhubarb's plan, but he'll be the enabler if the other two want to do it. Sounds like Hugh's on
Oh
board.
yeah,
We
plus 14 to stealth. I'm great.
we need to leave someone behind so if they notice that we get captured, they can go back to the Calamon forces and bring them in for a rescue mission.
You could
That's
get
right.
Penelope to do it. It'll be fine.
That's right. But Rue doesn't know how
I
to
was
talk
gonna
to her.
say, obviously, I would be leaving the far gap behind um,
Fairly
with whoever
smart.
is staying. Yeah, whoever's staying outside, if we're staying behind.
If you two want to go, I'm ready when you are. I will make you invisible. You got 1 hour.
Well, perhaps Hugh casts his spell first, and then
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and the pass without trace, is that also an hour? I thought it was.
yes, I believe Pass Without a Trace is another hour. Un momento.
Okay.
Pass Without a Trace is concentration for up to an hour.
Oh, awesome.
What even is that? Ah, man. So, uh, as you are preparing, with this plan to head out, uh, plan is Hugh casts Pass. Right after that, Rue will cast Invisibility, and Vass and Hugh can settle out to try and sneak, gain some information.
Yes.
So, are there any other preparations you wish to make?
I can't think of anything.
I think yeah, I'm good to go.
Rue's gonna hand one of them, I guess maybe Vass, because he likes fire, his potion of alchemist's fire, or alchemist fire flask. The the one he still has hanging around from many, 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 many sessions ago.
I think I still have. Oh, maybe I used mine. Oh, I
I
think
think
I used mine.
I think you used yours on the last invisibility assault on that keep or whatever.
Or was it when we went to rescue the Calamon forces that were retreating? I think I threw it across the river because I had no ranged stuff.
Got it. That might be it, yeah. Well, now you have another one.
Yeah, it's still
For-
in my inventory though, so I'm wondering if I had two to start with. Anyway,
I think someone did take
thank
two,
you.
actually.
Yeah, there was a lot that was there, and I believe you guys left most of it. I want to say you
Rue
guys.
took 2 and he gave 1 to Wyan
Yeah.
as like a token of gratitude.
So, as you have a pass off of the alchemist's fire, you are able to set your plan in action. Oh,
I'm just nervous.
don't be. We haven't even rolled dice yet.
That makes me extra nervous.
Hugh casts Pass without a trace. You can feel that sort of fey energy softening the hard earth beneath your feet, making it not quite as noticeable to hear. Stretching the night shadows around you. Rue, you cast for invisibility. Twin spelling it, or do you
Yes.
upcast?
I was twin spelling it. I
Twin
didn't even think
spelling.
about upcasting it.
So, twin spelling Kavas and Hugh. And they disappear. At least to your ocular senses. Kavas, Hugh. As you cross over the wasteland, get closer to the Dragon Army camp. I'm going to ask for stealth rolls here. You have advantage because you're invisible. A plus 10 because of the...
19.
Did you roll with advantage? You are
Oh, the
invisible.
advantage cancels out my disadvantage from the armor.
Ah,
I got a 28.
28. As you slip in... Let me just check something here with my DM privileges. As you slip in behind enemy lines. Q. You would be the one to hear. There's a guard from one of the sides. Mage said that he spotted something. Keep your eye out, we might have infiltrators.
Is this small patrol?
This is at the edge of the major camp, like,
Okay.
so you guys have just kind of passed into it, and a guard, sort of as like a runner, as a messenger, is coming to give this portion of the sort of outer watch a update.
Someone from the inside came to the outside to let them know.
No, so it's like another patrol on the edge of the guard. And it's like, so I got told this, I'm telling you guys this, so keep an eye out. And then to spread the word to, like, people on the inside.
It was wishful thinking that maybe we weren't the infiltrators. Maybe they're talking about someone else.
Yeah. So.
You can't do an infiltration without a black cap.
Aw. Mine's just asleep right now. So. Hugh, you have this information, but you are at the edge of the camp. You can try and move around, see if you can catch any information. You do have Bass nearby as well, though you can't see him.
I was just thinking about that, like how do I know where Hugh is so that I can stay within the pass without a trace boundary? Like I was thinking, like, are we holding hands? Like, how is this going down?
I think we're exactly holding hands.
Amazing. So what do
Well,
you
I didn't
do?
hear that, so I think everything's great.
Yeah, Bass, you're confident.
All right, I whispered to Vass about what I heard.
Vass would whisper back, what do you want to do? Should we go back?
I think maybe we sneak away.
Yeah, we don't want to push our luck here.
Then I'll ask for another stealth roll. Sneak out.
20.
35.
Yeah, you get away with ease. But with the knowledge that some mage was powerful enough to notice something. Maybe there is still the phantom sensation of eyes on you as you return to where Rue, what have you been doing as your friends have been sneaking? It's be about 20 minutes.
Rue's a patient individual. He's probably fidgeting with the frog locket that frog trinket that Vass gave him. Just, you know, wanting to maintain concentration on the spell, so it's not like his mind's wandering. He's kind of focused right now because he doesn't want his friends to get caught. Like, slip off into sleep, and all of a sudden you lose concentration. Something like that.
Right? That would be horrible. And then this will be about the time that Vass and Hugh, you are returning. See through their frog trinket out. Focused face.
Vass clears his throat so that he doesn't completely startle Rue. Although maybe that would startle him. I don't know.
Are they able to drop invisibility themselves? I guess by
Only
taking
if
such
they make an attack or cast a spell.
Yeah, I guess if I slapped you up the side of the head, I wouldn't be invisible anymore.
Yeah, but that would also probably really shock Rue.
I'm trying not to do that because I don't want him to yell.
someone there.
Yeah, we're back.
Both of you.
Yep.
Unless this is someone else's hand I'm holding.
It's just a severed hand.
I hope so.
Rue's gonna drop concentration and then ask why they're holding hands.
The real question is why
How else
you
are we
aren't
supposed to
holding
stay
our
together?
hands.
Holding hands is a sign of brotherly trust. Like, what are you talking about?
Crap.
Yeah.
Now Rue's sad that they're not holding his hand.
So, as an invisibility drops, but an illusion stays in place. As thoughts of brotherhood are brought up. This is where we must take our next ad break. So stick tight. We will be right back to continue our story, see where our adventurers take this adventure. But before we head out, I do ask that you let the ads run. They're very important to us here at Little Witch RP. They help keep our games affordable. If you want to directly support us, you can make a donation to my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen. Ko-fi donations not only help support us at Little Witch RP, they also unlock awesome perks for the entire community, benefiting everyone who plays with us for the next month. Perks include special companions, double treasure, double XP, new quests. There's a full list of them available on our Discord, so stick tight. We'll be right back. We are back. Bass and Hugh have returned from a short-lived scouting trip. And Ruse may be feeling a little left out of the hand-holding. So, what are you guys doing as we return?
Rue's gonna reach one hand out to each of them and just say, "What did you find, brothers?"
Take an
Oh,
inspiration
there's a
point,
can.
Rue.
Vass would look at Hugh and say, "You want to tell him what you overheard?" You did we lose Hugh?
Yeah, we saw. I mean, we get as close as we'd into what it's like, because we get kind of we're afraid we were getting made, or it got close.
So you think they saw you?
They didn't see us so much as they noticed something was up. Oh,
They may have perceived us, or they might have had some kind of a
mhm.
mage that could maybe we were seen, maybe they could see through the invisibility and the passively trace.
Maybe they're strong like Dalamar then. Better not be Dalamar. Cut his ears off. Sounds dangerous to get any closer then.
Yeah, they're all running around letting each other know that there might be um, infiltrators. So I think if we were to try again, it would be even more difficult to get further inside the encampment.
Well, I think the way you take an army is with an army of your own.
You was tempted to say he is the one-man army, but like, nope, nope, too much of that. Yes,
I mean, you're welcome to stay and try. We can.
no, we should do this properly.
Yeah. Bros let other bros know when they have delusions of grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
Faye, what time of day? You said we were getting close to the end of the day, and maybe you were even talking about it being nighttime through some of this?
Yeah, so it was like twilight when they went out for their scouting mission. So it's like proper night right now. If you would like, you can push travel, or you can stay in your little shaped, illusioned sanctuary, we'll call it.
Wondering if we should try and put some space between us and this area under the cover of night. I know you might not be able to see very well. We might have to hold your hand.
Oh, that's right.
Keep trying, man.
He
Keep trying to make it happen.
I don't think that I have dark vision spell to be able to grant dark vision. That's a cleric thing, isn't it?
Or a shadow
Druids have
sorcerer.
it too.
I think shadow sorcerers can get the dark vision spell.
Yeah. How far of it, like, how big of an area is your illusion covering?
It can be pretty big. I would imagine it covered the whole outcropping and then some of the area around it just to make it all blend in. It's a 150-foot cube. So I can even go up into the sky, or things look like chasms and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely space enough for you to rest, so long as no one accidentally stumbles into it.
Right. And it'll be up until for 24 hours, so we've got time, plenty of time.
Yeah.
But it's just a question
Do
of
you
whether
want to risk?
it's safer to leave in the cover of night versus daytime.
Yeah. Traveling at night might make it less uh, possible or less likely that the Dragonlance scouts would spot us, perhaps.
Or we could leave in the morning under the cover of another invisibility. At that point, I think I could
Mm-hmm.
potentially get all of us for an hour. That might give us enough time to cover enough distance.
Mm-hmm.
I think. What's invisibility? Level 2. So if I used a 4th level spell slot, I could get 3 people.
All right. Um, that's the way of getting in. Let's prepare for what we do when we get in there.
I think this was for putting space between you and the camp. So traveling at night or traveling under illusion, with the invisibility. Because I think what the plan is to get an army of your own to go against this. My
I think it's
understanding
time
is
we,
correct.
yeah, I
Ruse
think
vision.
it's time we reunite with our forces that we left behind.
Yeah, Rue was envisioning going back to Heart's Hollow and then jogging over toward Wakenreth from there. That might not be the most direct route, but it'd be pretty close. Hell, maybe we would even find one of the Heart's Hollow scouts the closer we get to their place. Maybe we
Maybe.
even find a dragon.
You can find one of those weird gates.
That'd be cool too.
Oh God, no, I'm done with those. Um, I would love to go back to Heart's Hollow, provided we don't end up leading the dragon army. soldiers to that doorstep.
Okay.
Now, I'm tempted to try and sneak in to the dragon army and see if they have any kind of critical shit to sabotage or like assassinate the leader, if some cool shit to steal.
As soon as you said assassinate the leader, Taylor whipped his head around and looked up at you like he was shocked and appalled that you would say something. It
Don't
was
you
so
know
funny. I'm
I'm
sorry.
the leader?
I don't like where this is going.
Um, let me just make notes, change some names. Uh, yeah. Uh, no, yeah, I mean, of course, you can always try and re-infiltrate. Um,
I
actors.
guess there is a possibility of some kind of arcane eye or other kind of like sneaking anti-sneaking detection.
They did seem to notice
But
you
then
guys.
again, that might make it important to help the spellcasters.
Yeah, I mean, like, they seem to notice you under all of your magic, when you attempted to sneak in, and I mean, you had successfully gotten in, but you also heard that you, or they believe they spotted something. So, um,
It might be time to find our own army.
Yeah, I think it's time we try and find the Dragonlance soldiers.
so the question is, do you rest this evening? Or do you take the risk and move under the light of the moons?
I think we can move on to the light of the moon.
I don't want to try that too.
Yeah, let's do it.
As, yeah,
We have a
as
moon
much as
sorcerer with us. The moons are our friends.
yeah, as much
And
as I'd like to take advantage of this hallucinatory terrain a little longer, I think they could be sending people out looking if they think there's people poking around. So it might be best to go to Dodge now.
then I will leave this to a choice of your manner. Do you wish to roll stealth or athletics? Move carefully or move quickly?
My vote is still.
I mean, yeah, my goal with using the darkness is definitely to aid in stealth.
Roll whatever check you think that your character would do.
Well, Q was in a athletic frame of mind, and he got 20.
Beautiful. You move. Your hallucinatory terrain left behind, as well as the massive amounts of Dragon Army forces. And as you make your way 1 hour under the darkness of night, can I get Constitution saving throws?
Oh my goodness, that was on a 16 for a million days, and then it flipped over to an 8.
Oof.
Mine also flipped over to an 8 for a 13. Can I use meta magic to influence that?
Use con save.
You could use your frog anyway.
True. It's too late to use the frog. Unless you would say I already had the frog since I was messing with the frog when we
I'd say you'd have the frog in hand. It was all very sudden. Unless you would have packed the frog away. In that case, I would ask for a D100 roll to see if it hits the crab shell.
I was using, yeah, I had the frog when they were gone, right? I was
Yeah.
fidgeting with the frog. Add to
Okay, 15.
15.
And then Hugh, what was your con save?
The con save is 15.
All right, twinsies. That's unfortunately with a 10, you do gain a level of exhaustion as you push through this first hour. You do get some distance between you and the camp. Do you continue to push further?
One point is disadvantage on ability checks.
Yes, ability checks.
If I... No. Bless is only a minute, so that doesn't do anything for us.
So, I would say, with an hour, that can cover a distance of 3 miles. So you are 3 miles away from the camp. You could push for another, or you could find a place to rest.
I think it's time to rest.
I feel better being here than where we were before.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes versus an hour and 10 minutes is a big difference.
Also, Sailor's starting to sleep on my arm, so it's a sign from the cat. The cat has chosen.
Man, now I want to make a new TTRPG, but instead of dice, you have to interpret cats. That what
I
a
would play that.
what a story that would tell.
Oh, see how he opened your eyes when you mentioned that?
Yeah.
You know you're talking about him?
Yeah, there we go.
He's on board, but he wants a cut.
So, as you find a place here to rest, what are some of your thoughts as you find yourself falling asleep?
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Like,
He was on
more.
similar lines. If he can, he still feels he can take any of them one-on-one, but they're not gonna fight him one-on-one. What good is being the best duelist if there's no duels, but all just brawls?
Brass is very preoccupied with wondering if the army found whatever it was they were looking for there that we were trying to beat them to. And he's, I don't know that frustrated is the right word. I feel like that's too strong because he's not like angry, but he's maybe disappointed. I don't know that they beat us here. But if he could go back and do anything different to get here faster, I don't think he would have made, I think he would have done the same things again. Yeah, I don't think he would have changed anything. Yeah, he's wondering what could possibly be there and afraid that now they've got it.
Is your thoughts wind around the dragon army, their numbers, their tactics, whether they have found whatever it was they were looking for with the city of lost names. You are taken by sleep, dreamless. By the time that you awake, morning is starting. The dawn rises, distance. You have a path ahead of you. But we will see how you walk that path in our next episode. So, thank you to our players for playing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. I'll see you guys in our next stream, but until then, head over to willthewitch.com. Check us out there. Jump into our Discord if you want to keep up to date with all of our announcements. Maybe jump in a game yourself. And if you want to check out our VODs, you can head over to our YouTube. As always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.